Hello everybody, this is an emergency update. There will still be a regular Thursday episode later on today, but I just wanted to get this out now. This update is not intended to cause any panic, and in fact it is still very early and there may be nothing to worry about at this time. But there is a concerning developing story coming out of China that we just need to be aware of. Just a few hours ago, the World Health Organization, WHO, publicized that it has asked Beijing for more information on an outbreak of, quote, mysterious pneumonia, end quote, in northern China, which is reportedly mostly affecting children. The United Nations Health Agency said in a statement today, just a few hours ago, that it had made, quote, an official request for detailed information on an increase in respiratory illnesses and reported clusters of pneumonia in children. End quote. The fact that it has made this request public is in of itself telling. The statement continues, quote, the World Health Organization is also in contact with clinicians and scientists through our existing technical partnerships and networks in China. Since mid-October, northern China has reported an increase in influenza-like illness compared to the same period in the previous 3 years. China has systems in place to capture information on trends in influenza, influenza-like illnesses, RSV, and SARS-CoV-2, and reports to platforms such as Global Influenza Surveillance and Response System. While WHO seeks this additional information, we recommend that people in China follow measures to reduce the risk of respiratory illness. End quote. Early this week, ProMed, an online medical community that raised questions in late 2019 about an unknown illness circulating in Wuhan that later became COVID-19, noted a growing number of media reports of clusters of undiagnosed pneumonia among children in northern China. In a media statement published by ProMed yesterday, it expressed, quote, this suggests a widespread outbreak of an undiagnosed respiratory illness. It is not at all clear when this outbreak started, as it would be unusual for so many children to be affected so quickly. It is too early to project whether this could be another pandemic. End quote. Eric Feigding, Feiglding, entomologist, former researcher at Harvard Medical School and chief of the COVID task force at the New England Complex Systems Institute, in several posts today expressed, quote, an emerging large outbreak of pneumonia in China, with pediatric hospitals in Beijing, Liaoning overwhelmed with sick children, and many schools suspended. Beijing Children's Hospital overflowing. Beijing and Liaoning are 800 kilometers apart. This epidemic isn't localized anymore. That worries me a lot. End quote. Adding a few hours later, in a separate post, quote, I pray it's not an avian flu that jumped to humans. We will know more in the coming days. End quote. This is very much a developing story which we will follow closely in the coming days.